What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. League of Legends is constantly being patched for a variety of reasons. They add all sorts of things like new skins, champions, game modes, and of course, balance changes. And we're currently on patch 8.24a, but some interesting things are happening in future patches, and there's been quite a lot of comments and thoughts from Riot Games themselves about what's going to happen in the future, and so today I wanted to take a look at some of the upcoming future changes to League of Legends. And if you enjoyed the video, definitely hit that like button or let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe for some more videos. And this video is sponsored by ProGuides.com. They're actually doing a $25 RP giveaway. It's pretty easy to enter. A lot of you keep asking me how to get better at League of Legends, and of course I don't really have that much time to be able to message everyone individually, so I always refer anyone who wants to increase their rank to ProGuides.com, of course, which is a great website that's got a bunch of guides from pro players, and you can get one-on-one coaching with challenger players as well 24/7. To enter the giveaway, just subscribe to their YouTube channel and click the bell using the link below in the description. So the next patch coming is going to be patch 8.24b, and unlike regular numbered patches like 8.23 or 8.20 or whatever, this patch is going to be solely focused on balance only and isn't really going to add any new content to the game like features or skins or whatever. However, these changes aren't going to be necessarily that drastic, kind of just general adjustments to numbers and tweaks instead of completely changing mechanics and functionality on items, abilities, towers, stuff like that. However, there are some larger issues that may see some serious overhaul, but they likely need more development time, and they'll probably come in the upcoming patches in early next year later on. In early next year, the plan that Riot has stated for patches is to get the upcoming larger changes in the first few patches, then once Season 9 officially starts, slow down the huge balance changes and make fewer drastic updates and hopefully have a more stable period of balance for League. According to Riot Meddler, the target date for patch 8.24b is the 18th, 17th-ish of December, and from what he said, it seems that Riot really wants to slow down when it comes to patch content in Season 9. In Riot Meddler's words, he said, "We do think we changed too much in the first half of 2018, so we're going to avoid doing such a large amount in such a time frame. The second half of 2018, by contrast, was quite light on change, preseason included, so we'll likely have a little bit more than that, especially in future preseasons. No plans to change patch cadence from 2 weeks though. The size of the patch will vary at times certainly." So it seems like we'll definitely still be seeing a patch every 2 weeks, as we have for many years from now, but the fact that Riot wants to keep the patches a little bit lighter than in Season 8 means that there's a little bit less of a likelihood of seeing champs and items become crazy overpowered or borderline useless, as buffs and nerfs will happen over a smooth gradient rather than like some really significant changes. Another thing that's coming soon is an update to Marksman. Recently, a lot of League of Legends players have been complaining about the current state of Marksman. There's a lot of arguments for this. People are saying they're just underpowered, or crit items are really struggling, or like there's only a really small amount of actual AD carries that are viable. And Riot did some player surveying based on what people have been saying over a week. They looked at players from North America, Korea, and Brazil to see how true these claims actually were, and from their research they found that all three regions feel that jungle is the strongest position, followed fairly closely by mid. However, there were different views on how strong bot was in the current meta. Korean players saw top, bot, and support as all around the same power level. North American players saw top as the third most powerful, followed by support, and in last place the marksman players. While Brazilian players ranked bot and support at the same level in third place, leaving top as the weakest position in their opinion. In the week since Worlds ended, there has been some decline in the players picking bot lane as their preferred position, but this also varied depending on the region. There was a larger drop in players picking bot as their preferred position in North America, but in Korea these stats actually didn't really drop at all. And while a handful of marksmen like Lucian, Ezreal, and Misfortune still see quite a lot of play and are pretty strong at the moment, they're satisfying to play, they've got a lot of player agency and actionable strategies, but a lot of other marksmen have definitely fallen out of play recently, and Riot especially has noted that a lot of crit dependent marksmen are falling out of play. Some champions don't have builds that are viable that aren't crit based, and according to Riot Meddler, this is definitely something they want to fix, as marksmen are potentially too skewed towards almost all offense and no defense itemization wise. Without suitable peel and kiting from your teammates or a favorable meta, these marksmen are often left as brittle glass cannons, which can be pretty frustrating to play. So over the next few patches, Riot definitely wants to address this marksman problem in various ways. In patch 8.24b, Riot want to make certain marksmen more powerful with just straight up buffs. Most notably, they mentioned Corki, Xayah, and Ashe, as well as a few others. These balance changes will potentially give these marksmen more starting magic resistance, making the harass from magic damage in the early and mid game a lot less relevant, which could definitely help bringing the game around a bit more in those champions' favor. Not only this, but they also want to do something regarding Xayah, as there's a lot of concern as to how powerful she is in the game. In patches 9.1 onwards, after 824B, they'll delve deeper into the problems with crit items, making them more satisfying to most crit building AD carries, as the satisfaction has been a long-running issue with crit items, regardless of where they sit in terms of balance. Not only this, but Riot have also been looking at defensive items on marksmen, like Bloodthirster and Hexdrinker notably, making them better early game purchases and more reliable options for the mid game. Another AD carry focused change Riot plans on making is changing Stormrazor and Essence Reaver respectively, as many believe that Stormrazor, while incredibly powerful, is not that fun to play with among AD carry players. They aren't 100% sure on what needs to be done to Essence Reaver, but they're probably going to do some sort of change and some sort of improvements on the items there. So overall, quite a lot of changes coming to marksmen in the future. It's pretty much just all going to be buffs across the board as far as items, champions, mechanics, everything goes. You know, Riot has pretty much heard the concerns from players voicing their opinions on the marksman role in general, and overall it's something that you can definitely expect to see in the future. Riot also want to better control gold and XP funneling. If you're not familiar with the funneling strategy, it's essentially just putting more than one position's worth of gold or experience onto a single champion, such as a jungler taking a significant amount of solo lane creeps for themselves. Earlier in the year, they tried to combat it with a little bit of a band-aid fix, a debuff to starting jungle items. This debuff was called Monster Hunter, which heavily reduced lane minion gold if you have the highest minion score on your team. While this did help, at times it punished people who weren't adopting the playstyle, so it was actually removed in patch 823. Riot definitely want to punish this playstyle in some way, but it was obvious that this debuff was affecting those who weren't even making use of the tactic at all. Riot's possible direction for dealing with funneling is possibly an improved version of Monster Hunter that does a better job of distinguishing between funneled champs and champions who just had a really good game and are picking up some lane farm while holding a teammate's tower or split pushing or something like that. They definitely want to have a long-term better strategy for XP funneling and gold funneling in general, but they do definitely realize that their original version of the Monster Hunter debuff was just a slight band-aid fix that didn't really solve the problem and even introduce new problems as well. So they're still kind of working on this one, and they haven't come up exactly with what they're doing, but some kind of solution to this problem is something that's definitely going to be coming in the future for sure. There are also going to be a lot of balance tweaks for runes and items in future patches. Celerity, while still a decent choice on a small number of champions, is a much weaker choice on many more. Riot are concerned that they might have it a little bit too niche, but for now they just wanted to wait and see, as a lot of players haven't fully adjusted their rune pages to add or remove it where appropriate. Another rune that Riot wants to alter is Hail of Blades, as it's not really that effective currently, and if changing it doesn't really do much, you might not see Hail of Blades in the game in the immediate future though. And if they can't really improve it by changing it, and it ends up that their changes don't really do all that much, they've stated that they might actually remove Hail of Blades from the game in the future. However, at the moment, they're definitely focused on much bigger, more pressing issues in runes. Of course, the most pressing issue that Riot is certainly aware of is Dark Harvest. They said that they'll continue to monitor how players feel about the change, and if it's problematic, they'll consider reverting it back to how it was before, or just making some balance tweaks here and there. However, Riot is also aware of the problems that the old Dark Harvest had. In specific, Riot Meddler stated that old Dark Harvest had a bunch of issues too though, and we wanted to make sure that we're separating power and functionality appropriately when assessing it. And talking about strong runes, notably Riot Meddler mentioned that Presence of Mind and Absolute Focus are likely going to be seeing some changes in the form of nerfs in the near future. And there's also just a bunch of random champions that are going to be getting some balance tweaks in the upcoming patches as well. For example, Ornn, who's currently got changes that are being tested on the PvE, most notably a change to his passive. So now when Ornn reaches level 11, any upgradable item in his inventory is automatically upgraded at no extra cost. Not only this, but his mana cost has been reduced on his Q, there's no shield on his W anymore, and the knockup time on his E has been increased to 1.25 seconds from 1 second. His ultimate, Call of the Forge God, now slows based on the amount of time it's up, while the knockup on the recast is lowered by 50%. Katarina's also got changes on the PvE with potential nerfs to Pike coming as well in patches early next year. And Riot has also mentioned that they're specifically keeping an eye on Karthus and Talia for the time being. Either way though, that just about covers all the upcoming changes we know about that are going to be coming to League of Legends in the future. Is there anything you'd like to see come to League in the future? Definitely let us know in the comment section below. Anyways, that's all we got time for, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.